Here's a statement that might make some men uncomfortable. Women will miss a man more intensely when he's not available than when he's constantly at their beck and call. It's not manipulation, it's psychology. Attraction and desire aren't about chasing, pleasing, or being overly available. They're about creating value, presence, and a sense of intrigue that keeps her thinking about you even when you're not there. The truth is, most men get it completely wrong. They overtext, overcommit, and overinvest in women too soon. They act like their attention is cheap, and the result is predictable. Women take it for granted, lose interest, or stop appreciating what's in front of them. The secret to making a woman miss you is not doing more. It's doing less strategically, maintaining your value, and understanding what triggers her desire. In this video, we're going to break down 7 powerful things you can do to make any woman miss you badly. These aren't vague tips or manipulative tricks. They're rooted in the psychology of attraction and human behavior. We'll explore the subtle ways to create absence, spark curiosity, and build emotional tension, all while keeping your dignity intact. By the end, you'll know exactly how to position yourself so that she can't stop thinking about you and wants to be around you more than ever. Welcome to the channel. If you've ever felt frustrated because a woman seems distant, disinterested, or emotionally detached, this video is for you. Stick around because I'm going to give you clear, actionable insights that most men overlook, showing you how to tap into the psychology that makes her feel your absence, think about you constantly, and want you back. We're not playing games for the sake of games. We're creating real attraction by understanding the dynamics of attention, desire, and emotional pull. These are the secrets most men don't know and women rarely admit. 1. Disappear to reappear stronger. One of the most powerful ways to make a woman miss you is to disappear for a while. This doesn't mean ghosting or being disrespectful. It means creating space so that your presence is felt in its absence. Humans are wired to value what they don't have, and when you're always around, she can take you for granted without even realizing it. Think about this. You've been texting her regularly, meeting often, and giving her your attention consistently. It feels natural and harmless, but over time, she starts to expect your availability. Your value, which was once high because of your mystery and independence, gradually diminishes. By stepping back, slightly reducing communication, being busier with your life, and focusing on your priorities, you create a sense of absence that sparks longing. This doesn't mean ignoring her completely or acting cold. It's about creating controlled distance. When she notices you're not as readily available, she starts to reflect on the time you spent together, the energy you bring, and the qualities she misses. She begins to realize that your presence isn't something she can take for granted. That longing, when done correctly, can intensify her attraction and make her want to reach out, think about you more, and value your attention deeply. Scenario: imagine you've been seeing a woman casually, texting daily, and hanging out multiple times a week. One week, you focus on your personal goals, workouts, and hobbies, keeping yourself busy and not initiating contact as often. You don't over-explain or apologize, you simply live your life. After a few days, she notices your absence. She might text, check on you, or reflect on the moments you shared. Your absence has created a subtle pull, a realization that your presence is something special, not automatic. The key here is balance. You're not punishing her or playing games. You're simply protecting your value while showing independence. Women are naturally drawn to men who have their own lives, ambitions, and confidence. When she senses that you're not dependent on her for happiness or attention, she starts missing the connection you provide, and her interest often intensifies. Disappearing strategically isn't about being manipulative. It's about showing that your attention is selective. By stepping back, you make her think, reflect, and ultimately feel your absence in a way that makes your return even more impactful. 2. Trigger curiosity. Let her wonder. Curiosity is one of the most powerful tools for creating attraction and making a woman miss you. When she doesn't know everything about you, her mind fills in the blanks, and often those blanks make her think about you constantly. Women are naturally drawn to mystery, and if you give her too much information too soon, you risk losing that intrigue. The goal here is not to lie or play childish games, it's about holding back just enough so she has to wonder. Leave parts of your life, thoughts, or plans slightly ambiguous. Share highlights, but don't give every detail. For example, instead of saying exactly what you're doing every day, hint that your life is busy and interesting. This subtle approach encourages her to think about you more often and keeps her attention on you without you even trying. Another way to trigger curiosity is through selective storytelling. Talk about experiences, accomplishments, or moments in a way that sparks questions. If she's interested, she will naturally want to know more. This curiosity becomes a mental pull that keeps you on her mind, because she's imagining parts of your life, filling in details, and wondering what you'll do next. It's also important to create emotional curiosity. You don't have to be mysterious for the sake of it. You can provoke reflection by showing depth, emotion, or subtle vulnerability, but in measured doses. Sharing the right details at the right time gives her a sense that there's more to discover, which makes your absence feel more significant. Consistency matters. If you alternate between being fully open and entirely closed off, it can confuse her. But a steady balance of just enough information combined with genuine confidence and independence creates the perfect level of intrigue. Finally, curiosity works best when paired with your own life priorities. When she sees that you're focused on your goals, passions, and social circle, she notices that you're not waiting around for her validation. That combination of independence and mystery naturally increases attraction and makes her miss the unique energy you bring. In short, don't over-explain your life, don't overshare every detail, and don't make yourself too predictable. Let her wonder, let her think. The more she fills in the gaps herself, the more she will feel your absence, and the stronger her desire to reconnect will become. 3. Be unpredictable. Keep her guessing. Predictability is one of the biggest killers of attraction. When a woman knows exactly what to expect from you, your schedule, your responses, your moods, she can stop investing mentally and emotionally. One of the most effective ways to make her miss you is to be a little unpredictable. This doesn't mean being unreliable or irresponsible. It means creating a dynamic where she can never fully anticipate your every move. Unpredictability works because humans are naturally drawn to novelty. Our brains pay more attention to things that are slightly uncertain or unexpected. When you break routine in small, intentional ways, without being chaotic, you make her think about you, anticipate your next move, and reflect on your interactions. This keeps you mentally present in her mind, even when you're not physically around. Being unpredictable can be simple. Change up how you communicate. Sometimes a short, teasing message, other times a delayed, thoughtful response. Occasionally surprise her with an interesting plan or show up in ways she didn't expect. You can vary your energy and tone, light and playful at times, slightly mysterious or introspective at others. The key is balance. It should feel natural, not forced or manipulative. Predictable men become invisible over time. A woman might initially be attracted to you, but if she knows exactly how you'll react to every situation, her interest can plateau. By contrast, a man who keeps her guessing subtly stimulates her curiosity, keeps her engaged, and makes her feel your absence more strongly when you're not around. Another way unpredictability works is by reinforcing your independence. When she sees that you're focused on your life, interests and priorities, sometimes unavailable or unavailable at the right moments, it reminds her that your attention isn't automatic. This creates a sense of longing and respect because she realizes that your time is valuable. Finally, unpredictability doesn't mean you're playing emotional games. It's about keeping life interesting and engaging while maintaining your confidence and self-respect. A woman who feels mentally and emotionally stimulated is far more likely to think about you when you're gone, replay your interactions, and feel the pull to reconnect. 4. Show your value without words. One of the most overlooked ways to make a woman miss you is to demonstrate your value without saying a word. Women notice actions more than words. Compliments, explanations, or repeated reassurances are nice, but they don't create lasting attraction. What sticks is seeing a man living a high-value life, someone who's confident, independent, and in control of his world. Your value is shown in how you carry yourself. When you focus on your goals, hobbies, fitness, career, or social circle, she sees that your life is full and rewarding without her constant input. You don't need to announce it or brag. It's the consistency of your lifestyle that communicates strength. A man who is self-sufficient and fulfilled creates a magnetic pull simply by existing. Respecting your boundaries is another way to show value without words. If she texts constantly or asks for attention at inconvenient times, your calm, measured response, or even delayed response, signals that your energy is finite and worth earning. Women are wired to respond to men who don't give away their attention freely, because that scarcity makes you more desirable. Social presence is also powerful. When she sees you engaging with friends, pursuing passions, or achieving goals, she notices that you're not waiting for her validation. This creates a sense of healthy tension. She wants to be part of your life, but she also realizes she can't control it. That tension is what makes her think about you when you're not around. Even subtle habits communicate value. Confidence in how you walk into a room, handle conversations, or make decisions all contribute to her perception of you. She notices the way other people respond to you, your energy, and the aura of independence you project. These signals aren't loud, they're quiet, consistent, and incredibly effective in creating longing. Finally, showing value without words isn't about impressing her, it's about living authentically. When you focus on being your best self for your own life, not hers, you create intrigue and attraction naturally. She will notice, she will reflect, and she will miss you. Not because you told her to, but because you live in a way that makes absence meaningful. 5. Limit attention. Make it count. One of the most effective ways to make a woman miss you is to limit the attention you give her. Most men think that constant texting, calling, or responding immediately is attractive. In reality, the opposite is true. Giving your attention freely teaches her that you're always available, which reduces her desire and emotional investment. Scarcity, when done strategically, creates value and longing. Imagine this. You usually text her several times a day, responding instantly to everything she says. One week, you take a step back. You respond selectively, keep messages brief but meaningful, and focus on your own life. Suddenly, she notices the change. She wonders why you're not as present, and her mind starts filling in the gaps with memories, feelings, and curiosity about what you're doing. Your absence makes your presence far more powerful. Limiting attention doesn't mean being cold or ignoring her completely. It means being intentional with your energy. Respond when it counts, engage when it's meaningful, and avoid over-investing in trivial interactions. This shows that your time and energy are valuable and not up for grabs, which naturally increases attraction. Another key point is that limiting attention creates mental tension. When she doesn't know exactly when you'll respond, she begins to think about you more. She wonders what you're doing, who you're spending time with, and why your presence isn't constant. That tension builds longing. It makes her feel your absence and desire your attention even more. Limiting attention also protects your emotional energy. Men who respond too often or overinvest emotionally risk becoming needy or appearing desperate. By being selective, you maintain control of your emotions, preserve your confidence, and ensure that every interaction she receives from you feels valuable and meaningful. Finally, remember that this works best when combined with authenticity. You're not playing games for the sake of manipulation. You're creating a dynamic where your energy is earned, respected, and cherished. When she realizes that your attention is rare and significant, she naturally starts missing you more and appreciating the moments she gets with you. 6. Create emotional tension. One of the most subtle and powerful ways to make a woman miss you is to create emotional tension. This isn't about being cruel or playing manipulative games. It's about engaging her emotions in a way that keeps her thinking about you, even when you're not around. Emotional tension makes your absence felt deeply because she associates you with a mix of excitement, curiosity, and longing. Emotional tension comes from contrast. If every interaction is predictable and comfortable, there's no spark, and her mind moves on quickly. But if you combine moments of fun, playful teasing, or challenge with moments of calm, mystery, or restraint, you create a dynamic that makes her reflect on your energy. She starts replaying conversations in her head, wondering what you'll do next, and feeling drawn toward you. Another aspect of emotional tension is engaging her feelings without overexposing yours. Men often fall into the trap of sharing everything too soon. Your thoughts, your emotions, your availability. This removes the tension because there's nothing left to wonder about. By showing glimpses of depth, care, or vulnerability, but not all at once, you give her room to fill in the gaps herself, which increases her emotional investment and the intensity of missing you. Strategic push and pull also fuels tension. You can be warm, engaging, and attentive when it matters, and slightly reserved or busy at other times. This doesn't mean acting aloof randomly. It means balancing connection with independence. The more she feels that your attention is not guaranteed, the more she reflects on your value and the energy you bring. Even small actions can create tension. A teasing message, a delayed reply, or mentioning a fascinating plan you're pursuing without inviting her every time can all trigger curiosity and longing. Women naturally notice what they don't have, and when you make your presence meaningful and your attention selective, she feels your absence strongly. Finally, creating emotional tension requires confidence and self-awareness. If you overthink or try too hard to create reactions, it backfires. But when it comes naturally from living your life fully, maintaining boundaries, and showing genuine value, it works effortlessly. The tension she feels is a reflection of your energy, independence, and presence, all things that make her miss you more than words ever could. 7. Make her work for your time. One of the most powerful lessons men often ignore is this: your time is your most valuable asset, and the way you manage it directly affects attraction. If a woman reaches out and you respond instantly every time, she learns that your availability is unlimited. When you start making her work for your time, she begins to respect it, value it, and, most importantly, miss it when it's not there. It's easy for men to fall into the trap of immediate responses. The mindset is usually, I need to stay on her radar, show her I care, and keep her interested. But here's the reality. Women are drawn to men who have lives, ambitions, and priorities outside of them. When she notices that your attention is earned, not automatic, she starts paying more attention to the moments she does get with you. Making her work for your time doesn't mean playing cold or being disrespectful. It's about setting boundaries and showing that your attention is selective. For instance, if she texts during your busy day, respond thoughtfully, but not immediately. If she wants to meet spontaneously, sometimes you prioritize your plans over hers. These small choices communicate that your life is full, your energy is valuable, and she must engage meaningfully to be part of it. Scenario: You're focused on an important project or personal goal. She reaches out, expecting an instant response. Instead of dropping everything, you take a moment to finish your task and then respond with genuine interest. The impact is subtle but profound. She notices that your attention is not to be taken for granted, which makes her reflect on your value and increases her desire to connect. This principle also encourages men to rethink their approach to validation. If your sense of worth depends on how often she engages with you, you'll naturally over-respond and lower your perceived value. By controlling your time and attention, you take back control over the dynamic. You're no longer chasing validation. You're providing attention strategically, which is far more attractive. Finally, understand that making her work for your time is also about self-respect and reflection. If you always prioritize her needs over your own, you lose your power in the relationship. Step back, evaluate your patterns, and commit to actions that maintain your independence and reinforce your value. When done correctly, this principle naturally creates longing, attraction, and respect. Because she begins to understand that your presence is something special, not guaranteed. In short, protect your time, set boundaries, and be selective with your attention. When she has to work to earn your energy, she begins to notice, appreciate, and miss you in a way that constant availability could never achieve. Here's a truth that many men don't want to hear. Making a woman miss you isn't about chasing her. It's about creating value, presence, and emotional impact in your absence. Too many men give their attention freely, overtext, and overinvest, thinking that constant engagement equals attraction. The reality is the exact opposite. When you live your life fully, maintain boundaries, and let your absence be felt, you create a magnetic pull that keeps her thinking about you long after you're gone. The strategies we covered, disappearing strategically, triggering curiosity, being unpredictable, showing value without words, limiting attention, creating emotional tension, and making her work for your time, aren't games. They're tools to protect your energy, demonstrate your value, and naturally increase her desire. Women notice when a man respects himself, manages his time, and isn't desperate for validation. That respect for yourself becomes attraction, and absence becomes a tool for longing. Think about it. How many times have you over-responded, over-explained, or been too available, only to realize she seemed distant or disinterested anyway? That's the moment to reflect and shift your approach. Your presence is powerful, but your absence is often even more powerful when it's used intentionally. I want to hear from you. Have you tried stepping back, creating curiosity, or protecting your attention? Did it make her miss you or increase attraction? Share your experiences in the comments. I read everyone and will engage with you. Real stories help all of us understand these dynamics better and see how they work in the real world. Remember this controversial truth. Sometimes, the most effective way to capture her attention is to stop giving it freely. Protect your value, stay confident, and let your absence do the talking.